and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful ribbon poinsettia wreath. First, let's learn how to make these beautiful poinsettia bows. The supplies that we'll be needing for our ribbon poinsettia bows are going to be some ribbon, and I have chosen this velvety ribbon. You can choose whatever ribbon you like. I prefer to use a wire edged ribbon. This one does not have a wire on the edges, but it has a very good body to it, so it'll stand up for the petals of my flowers. So just choose something that is at least 2.5 inches wide or a number 40 ribbon. I'm also going to be making some leaves for my flowers, so I have chosen a green velvety ribbon. This one does have wire on the edges, and that actually comes in useful, so you might want to look for that. Okay, we're going to be using some berries. You can use whatever berries you choose, or some little buttons or beads, maybe even some rhinestones, whatever coordinates well for the center of your poinsettia flowers. We're going to be needing some chenille stems or pipe cleaners, wherever you happen to be from. We're going to use a hot glue gun, so obviously we need some glue sticks and something to measure with, wire cutters, and scissors. Alright, and since we're going to be making a wreath for this particular project, we're also going to be needing a wreath form. Here I have a 14-inch wire wreath form. You can pick any size you want. Of course, the bigger you make it, the more flowers you're going to make, so just keep that in mind. Now let's get to making our wreath. Alright, so we're going to start building our poinsettia flower. We're going to take our chenille stems and we're going to cut them in half. So just start off with a few to begin with, and you can just cut them as you need depending on how many flowers you're going to make. You need one for every flower that you make. 1/2, that is. So one whole chenille stem or pipe cleaner will do 2 flowers. Okay, so there you go. We've cut them in half. Made a little pile here. Set it aside. Now we want to start cutting the petals of our flower. So we're going to take our ribbon, our measuring stick here, and we're going to measure 8 inches. So go ahead and cut a piece that is 8 inches long. And for each flower, I'm just going to straighten off this little edge here. So for each flower, we're going to cut out 5 pieces, and I've got 2 right here already. So all I'm going to do is I can continue using my measuring stick, measuring each one and cutting, or I can just take the ones that I've already cut and place them on top and just cut. I've got 3 pieces. Four. And 5. Okay, so we've got 5 already cut up, and we've already have them in a little stack, and this is our stack for 1 flower. And now we're going to take the ends and cut off the little triangles on the ends, on the edges, to form that shape there. Turn it around, do the same on the other side. So now we've got that cut out. Now if you don't have a little point, sometimes you'll have one that didn't quite get cut. So just do a little bit extra trimming just to get that little point. And there we go. We've got 5 pieces all cut up, and you'll cut up however many of these stacks, however many flowers you need. Let's start forming our first flower. We're going to take our little petal, and we can just fold it. This is a nice side up, so fold it upward so that you have the nice side up, and then of course you've got the wrong side or the underside under here. We're going to fold it in half, like so. And then you're going to fold down this way, and the other side the other way. Okay? So here you have like a little bow tie. Okay, so then what you'll do is you can take some clothespins and hold it while you build your next petal. What I do is I just hold it between my fingers, grab the next one, and I use the flat of my hand to help me do some folding. You do it like that. Fold it in half. Fold it down. A little band-aid, excuse that. And then fold it down again. Put that on top of the other one. And we want to make sure that they're even. There. And then just keep doing that till you've got them all done. You could even form it on the table. Fold it in half. Fold it in half. Again. Make a little pleat. It's like you're making a little fan. A little paper fan. We've got 2 more to do. Forgive me, I have a little fan on. I'll turn it off in just a moment. And then 1 more. And you can see that our flower is forming in our hand, or our clothespin, depending on what we use to hold it. Look at that. Alright, so now that we've got this, we're going to go ahead and take a piece of chenille stem, put it over the front, bring it to the back, and then just twist and twist your flower so it tightens up towards your flower. Try not to get your band-aid entangled in there like I just did. Okay, so then you just spread out your petals, spread them from the inside. Don't lose your little pleat. Just spread them out a little bit. Maybe one can go over the other one. You can overlap one over the other. And just spread them out. Once you've got them spread and you're satisfied with how it looks, I'll go ahead and stop there. And that's it. And I'm just going to flatten the back part a little bit like that so I can lay it on my table here. So now is where we're going to take our berries or little beads, whatever you choose to put in the center of your flower. I'm going to use these berries on this little stem, so I'm going to need to cut them with my wire cutters. I'm going to cut off a bit, and then I can just cut off some berries. And you could choose to do 4 or 5, depending on the size of them. Maybe you want to do 6 of them on each flower. I'm going to do, I think, 4, so I'll put that one aside. So that's why I needed my hot glue gun. I'm going to add a little puddle of glue in the middle, or you could glue each one individually. It's up to you. Take my berries, opposite side of each other, like that, and like that. And there is our poinsettia flower. I'll do 1 more, and I've actually got some already cut up here, and I've got sets of 5. So let's go on to the next one. I'll do 1 more in front of you. You can do it on the table. You can start off on the table. Grab it. I folded this one incorrectly. It's this way, guys. I knew there was something wrong with it. Fold it so the nice sides are facing each other, and then the edges, fold them back out. Okay? I'm glad I made that mistake so that I could point that out. And as you can see, I'm folding them mostly on the table, and then I bring it up and fold that last part. And they look so pretty with this particular type of ribbon. Now if you watched my video where I did just the flowers, you saw that I used a different patterned ribbon. I used something that looked sort of like burlap, canvas type ribbon. It was wire edged. One had polka dots and one had a kind of like a zigzaggy chevron type of design. Look at that, you guys. And I love when some of them kind of come full upward in front of the other ones, because that is kind of like the way the petals are on a natural poinsettia. So you might want to do that. I'm just going to fold this down so I can lay it right here and it won't move on me. I already have one little berry. I'm going to cut 3 more. Now you could cut all your little berries if you have them on a stem. Cut them all in ahead of time. Put them in a little bowl or something so they don't roll around on you. That would probably be the best thing to do, is create a production. So make form all of your flowers, and then you can go and glue all your little berries or whatever it is you're going to put down the center. Okay, I'm making a little puddle of glue. And I'm just making sure the little glue comes off because I don't want thick strings of glue going across my ribbon. Please excuse my band-aid. I cut myself earlier and I had to put it on, and then I've washed my hands, etc. with it, so it's getting a little worn here. Okay, so there is our second flower. So just make as many as you think you will need. All right, let's go to the next item. All right, so for the next item is going to be the leaf that we're going to learn how to build. Again, you're going to need chenille, and you can just use half of one 12-inch piece, so you need 6 inches at least for each leaf that you want to create. So again, from one stem you can do 2. This time we're going to cut our ribbon. Let me get some of this glue off my fingers, excuse me. We're going to cut our ribbon at 10 inches this time, okay? So just cut 10. And put this aside for now. And here's our 10. I've got another one here, and I've already folded it in half. So you want to take it wrong sides. It doesn't really matter which way you fold it, actually. So we're going to fold these in half, and you're going to cut as many leaves as you want to use for your project. And then we're going to fold them again in half like this. Okay? And this is the part where it's folded, and here's the open edge and an open edge. You're going to start here at the bottom part where it is folded. You're going to go over to the open edge and at least 1 inch up. So just put your little thumb right there to mark it 1 inch up. And you will need to imagine some little loops. And because this has wire edge here, I'm going to leave this part here with the wire. I'm not going to cut into it. I'm going to leave the wire on there, but I'm going to cut into it, make a little curve, come back out right before the wire, and then go back up again, make another little curve, and then the very last one, again inside, so that we don't have the wire. We're going to go inside and then cut a curve, but this time you're going to go up to the center open edge over here. Okay? So let me do this. We're going to go up 1 inch, right about here, and then just start cutting. And thankfully, because this is a velvety where I was doing my little markings, it kind of left a little mark there. So before we get to this wire here, we're just going to turn right back around and do another little curve. And don't worry about the sizes of your curves, because these are little leaves in nature and we don't need them to all be perfect. And then we're going to make another curve, but this time we're going to go to the very center point of this top open edge. Boom. And there we go. We'll have this. Looks like a little Christmas tree. And then we'll pop it open. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to take this other one here and I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I just did. So then I have the fold right here. This is where I folded it, like that. And then I'm going to fold it again. I'm going to go up about 1 inch. Just mark it there with my thumb. Start cutting. Make a little curve before you cut all the way. Turn your scissors back around again and do another little curve again before you go to the edge where the wire is. You're going to make another little curve, but this time we're going to go to the top center there. Okay? So then when we open it up, we have this shape. It kind of looks like a little Christmas tree. And then you pop it open, and that is your leaf. Now to form the leaf, we're going to do the same little trick that we did for the petals on our flower. You can fold them the same way. This is the pretty side. Get all them little fuzzies off of it. We're going to fold in, so we got the pretty side facing each other. And then we're going to take the little ends here, and this is super easy to do. You just fold down the 2 little flaps here. You have a little bit of wire here, and I think it's kind of nice if you do use a ribbon that has wire for the leaf, because you want that little bit of wire, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Now we're just going to take a chenille stem and wrap it down the middle. Fold it. Oops, my band-aid keeps getting caught in there. Okay, so there we go. And because of the wire that it has in here, I can bend it in half and it'll stay in that shape. So then we've got these leaves. Now you can have them like that, or if you want to have them flat open like that, that's up to you. But I think they look prettiest when they're like this. Now I've already cut myself a whole bunch of them in advance, depending on how many leaves I think I'm going to want. I folded my first sample to make sure that I was going to like that. So now here I've got 2. This one's just got the little end folded downward there, but it's got the same little edges. I've got 2 leaves here now. Let me do one more. You saw me fold it. It was super easy. Upward like that, and then down the 2 little flaps. They have the little wire on them. If they don't have wire, that's fine. And you can probably manipulate some other ribbon to do this also, but if you can get the wire edged, which pretty much almost every ribbon now has wire edged, there you go. Now, if you don't want to fold them, you could just pinch them like that and put chenille stem. That would probably go a little bit faster. That is completely up to you, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and finish building all of my leaves that I need and finishing up all of my flowers, and we can create a project with them. Okay, so now it is time to build our wreath. I am using this 14-inch wire wreath form as I showed you at the very beginning. And if you choose to use this one, then you can follow the amounts that I'm going to use as far as poinsettias and the leaf count. Now these wire wreath, I got this one from the Dollar Tree, and it's a 14-inch again, like I said. You may find yours from some other place, and it may be divided in different ways, so that you'll have to just figure that out. But if you have a 14-inch wreath like I do, what I did is, because this is divided into like 6 little sections, I took these 2 sections and I decided that 3 flowers would fit in that, and then 3 flowers over here, and 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. So I went ahead and I built 9 of my poinsettias. And then of course I built a leaf for each one. And then I decided that I wanted 2 bundles for each one. So I actually built 18 of these. Okay, so once again, let me tell you, each flower was 5 pieces, and each piece was 8 inches. So that was a total of 40 inches for each flower, and each leaf here, this little bundle, was 10 inches. So because I have 9 flowers, that totaled to 360 inches, which is 10 yards of ribbon to form 9 flowers for this particular size 14-inch wreath. And in my petals or my leaves here, I ended up using about 5 yards of ribbon. So that gives you an idea. If you want to do what I'm doing, you need at least 10 yards to create your flowers and at least 5 yards to create the leaves. Okay, so we're going to keep it really simple. You can add more than what I've done, make it fuller, but I'm going to keep it simple. So I'm just going to take 3 flowers and I'm going to take these sections. So I'm going to take the 2 center rings and grab my flower, and then I'm going to put this one right in the middle. As a matter of fact, we can turn it around, put the flower underneath, and you can be grabbing both of those 2 rings and just tie it on there like that. Okay, so we have a flower right there. I'm going to add another one on the other side. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. Try to make it tight. I don't think I did this one tight enough, but make it tighter than what I did. Okay, so I'm still in these 2 little sections here. And I'm going to add this one right here. Kind of slide it over. They're going to overlap each other a little bit, and that is fine. So let's turn this around. So here you get an idea of what that's looking like. Maybe slide this one over a little bit. It can be under this one. Maybe that one can be on top. The center one can be on the top of the 2. Or you could have them, you know, each time you put one, it kind of goes underneath the other like that. So it just depends. I kind of like the idea of having this one, the middle one in the front. So I'm going to go ahead, put another 3 in this section and then another 3 in this section, and I shall be right back. Alright, I'm just fastening up the very last flower, and now I can turn this around, fluff up any petals that you want to fluff up, and this can be a completed wreath right here. Isn't that pretty? Look at all those pretty flowers. And they almost look natural. I love how they look. But there we go. Just fluff them up however you want. Okay, so now we have our leaves. And because I built at least 2 of them for each flower, 2 of these little bundles, I'm going to use these on the outer edge. I thought about putting them on the inside, and you can put one on the inside and one on the outside. But I think I would like for them to all be on the outside. So I'm going to turn this around, and everywhere you have 1 poinsettia, you're going to go on the very furthest outer wreath, and just make sure that your ribbon on your leaves is pointing down, because that is the front is pointing down right now. So everywhere you have a flower, just tie this on there really well. You might want to take the little ends and curl them around the other ring next to it, just so that you keep it from like flopping, you know, around. So everywhere you have 1 flower, put 2 of these leaves, and I'm twisting it, and then I'm twisting it around the other wire just to keep them in place like that. And I can turn it around, and there you can see how these little leaves are going to stick out on the edges, and I think that makes the wreath look a little bit bigger, and it gives the flowers a background on the outside. I think it's going to give it a really nice border. So I'm going to continue putting on the rest of the leaves, and we'll be back when that is done. Alright, I am putting the final leaf on here, twisting it on, and then twisting it onto that second ring going inward, twisting those little ends onto it, making sure that none of the little ends here of my chenille or pipe cleaner are sticking out beyond the back, like the level of this last ring here, so that none of that is scratching either your wall or your door. So that they're all now attached. Now I can turn this over. And there we go. Can you see the whole thing right there? It's got all the leaves on the edges. And then of course, if you even wanted to do more leaves and put some on the inside, you can go right ahead. If you find yourself some ribbon and some ivory, maybe mix it up. Do red, some ivory. You know, mix up the poinsettias in there. They don't all have to be a solid color. They don't all have to be the same pattern. You can, you know, variegate your wreath. You can make it bigger, make it smaller, depending on the size of the wire that you find. If you don't find a wire like this, you could use a wire hanger and then just form a circle out of it, and then just use that one wire to attach all the flowers and the leaves to it. You can just go in between and put the leaves in there, tie them down. I think that would work. So what do you think, you guys? I think it looks really pretty. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed watching me create this beautiful wreath. I hope that you have learned something and you're going to try and make these beautiful ribbon poinsettias. As you saw, they're not that difficult. It is a little time consuming trying to make all the flowers. Of course, the bigger you go, the more flowers you need. So just decide on something small. This is really pretty. It hangs on the door really nice. It would be nice in your front door, your back door. Maybe give it as a gift for someone in a nursing home. It is just a beautiful thing to make. It is nice, a fundraising item that you could also create. Maybe make them a little bit smaller. Like I said, if you don't find a wire wreath, you can do them on a hanger and just create it maybe a smaller size so it uses up less flowers. This ribbon was not very expensive, and that is why I chose to use that. You can find it pretty much at any craft store. Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's have these type of ribbons. I don't know if at the Dollar Tree they'll have this, but you can use any other ribbon, any other patterns that you want to use. I just recommend that maybe a wire etched if it is not very thick, or just make sure that it's a substantial ribbon that will stand in the shape that you are creating these flowers in. All right, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe, and thank you to everyone who has been subscribing, and thank you very nice for your lovely comments. And leave a nice comment down below. Let me know what you think of this wreath. Will you be creating it? Are you going to use all red? What is your color? Let me know. And make sure you hit that notification bell. I have videos every Tuesday and every Friday, and once in a while I have a weekend vlog. So make sure you share on your social medias, everyone. And as always, enjoy.